far as I can tell, if you live with someone, here's what you're saying to each other. You're the best I can manage at the moment. And maybe the same applies to me for you. And we both really don't want to take on any more responsibility than necessary. Plus, we both want to have the option of trading up if opportunity comes along. And so why don't we just make do with this provisional arrangement while we cast our eye out into the broader world and see if we can fish something better in. And, you know, you can say I'm cynical about that, but I don't think I'm cynical about that. Because living together means something like, well, we're not permanently committed, and not permanently committed means, well, we're impermanently committed, and impermanently committed means we're looking for a better commitment, or perhaps to be alone, but forget that, because that's usually not true. Well, what kind of basis is that to have a relationship with someone? How are you going to found a relationship on that? Especially an intimate relationship. How's that going to work? It's like, you'll do for now. You know that people who live together before they're married are more likely to get divorced, not less likely. And the reason for that is, what exactly are you saying to one another when you live with each other? Well, for now, you're better than anything else I can trick. But I'd like to reserve the right to trade you in, conveniently, if someone better happens to stumble into me. Well, how could someone not be insulted to their core by an offer like that? Now, they're willing to play along with it because they're going to do the same thing with you. Now, well, that's exactly it. It's like, yeah, I know you're not going to commit to me, so that means you don't value me or our relationship above everything else. But as long as I get to escape if I need to, then I'm willing to put up with that. It's like, that's a hell of a thing. I mean, you might think, how stupid is it to shackle yourself to someone? It's like, it's stupid, man. There's no doubt about that. But compared to the alternatives, it's pretty damn good. Because without that shackling, there are things you will never, ever learn. Because you'll avoid them. You can always leave. And if you can leave, then you don't have to tell each other the truth. Well, you should try someone out before you live with them. Really, like a used car, that's what you should do. You take them for a test drive and see if you're compatible. And you could say, well, yeah, that's the sensible thing to do. It's like, okay, let's look at the data. Do couples who live together before they're married get divorced more or less than couples who just get married? And the answer is, they get divorced more. And so, it doesn't work. Why? Well, let's delve into the philosophy of living together. It's like, okay, we've been going out for a while and we're not fighting too much and we kind of think we might be all right. Or maybe we think this, you're the bloody best I can do for now. And so I'm kind of lonesome and some sex now and then wouldn't be a bad idea. So why don't we just live together and see how that goes? But if someone better comes along on either of our fronts, then why don't we reserve to ourselves the opportunity just to say, well, we're done with this because someone better has come along. It's like, that's the basis for your medium to long-term arrangement, is it? And you tell me you think it's different than that? It's a trial run. That doesn't work. It's what? It's an open door? Well, how committed are you going to be then?
Can you please elaborate on why you advise against cohabitation before marriage?
There's plenty of evidence that it's a bad idea. And I just mean factual evidence to begin with, although I think there are other reasons. People who live together and then get married are more likely to get divorced, not less likely. And that's a really interesting fact because it flies in the face of what you might think of as a kind of pragmatic common sense, you know, because you might think, well, you don't buy a car without taking it out for a test drive. Right, and everyone laughs because that seems obvious. But then, you know, woman's not a car.